Welcome to our viewers around the globe. We are here on site covering Congressman David Trone's campaign for the U.S. Senate. We are live at the event location for meet and greet. Media to Africa is the only media from the continent that is covering this event.
Media to Africa. L'Afrique parle.
It was barely around 8 p.m. when the congressman and his entourage made a grand entry at the host's residence and was greeted with shouts of victory and senator-to-be. He was welcomed by Dr. Jude Oyibado with the traditional Igbo kola nuts.
This is called kola nuts. Oh. Kola nuts.
What do we do now?
Kola nuts does not speak any other language except our own. So we'll tell you.
Exchange of pleasantries and photo shoots. But if you were an onlooker, you could not help but wonder who exactly was this person being welcomed with excitement by the host and his invitees. Congressman David Trone is a candidate for the United States Senate in the 2024 elections to succeed retiring Senator Ben Cardin. He owns what is known today as Total Wine and More for the millions of undocumented people living in this country and the abuses of immigration courts and unnecessary detention and support those fleeing terror and violence.
There is something I want to talk about. I want to ask you how you would do it. A man came to me and he said he was going to kill the house manager. And I did an emergency petition, called the police, and the police said that I have to leave the office, leave the patients, and go with them to the hospital. I said, no, that's not right. So I'm going to go with you. When I do an emergency petition, something is not right here. And they refused to take that patient. It is, I think there's a disconnect.
Yeah.
We need to fix that, or else the killings that happen every day will continue. What are you going to do to prevent this from happening, Congressman?
Yeah, well, first of all, you got about 20% of mental health will never get a job.
Absolutely.
They're not going to be at a job. We have a place in Montgomery County. I toured it probably 4 weeks ago. We have 22 people there. They're there permanently. And they have food, they have everything you need, rooms to meet, but they're not going, they can't be back on their own. We got a waiting list of 100. So a huge list. So one thing I'm looking for is Karen Bass. Karen Bass is a colleague of mine. We did a wonderful bill to get the police $124 million to learn not to use weapons, and instead learn about mental illness. So 4 years of grants, $124 million. We did that bill together. Karen and I did. Karen is taking on homelessness as her #1 job. But I want to see what Karen comes back with. But in the Senate, we're going to have more opportunities. We have more staffing, like 5 times more staffing. But mental health is just one more piece of that addiction, mental health issue, and it's outrageous that a country like this, has the homelessness problem we have. So,
among the invited guests, we noted the presence of Prince George's County Attorney General Aisha Braveboy, who recently endorsed the congressman for the Senate seat.
On last Thursday, I endorsed David Trone for U.S. Senate, and I'm thrilled with my choice. I look forward to seeing him work for us in the Senate. He has been such an effective member of Congress, and you can really judge people by their past performance. And what we know is that he is #6 in bringing home resources to his congressional district. He has been rated one of the most effective members of Congress, and he knows how to work across party lines to get the job done, and that's what we need here in Maryland. So I'm excited.
The congressman ended his evening with a groundbreaking interview granted to Media to Africa. In Cameroon, there has been a war going on for the past 80 years. Cameroonians here in this the state of Maryland who hail from that region, would you call for an immediate ceasefire in Cameroon?
Yeah, everywhere we go, we see these civil war strifes, and nothing's going to be resolved by the continued killing that we have going on in Cameroon. We see it happening in Congo and a lot of different places across Africa. So we've got to get to a ceasefire so we can begin to work to rebuild these countries. But America's got to get involved in Africa. We have abandoned it to the Chinese. They aren't bringing jobs. They're taking the rare earth metals, and America has got to have a place of leadership to work with Africa to move forward.
Pierre, who volunteers for the congressman, then appealed directly to immigrant voters to come out in their numbers and vote massively for the congressman.
Je pense que toute la communauté africaine francophone doivent aller voter, ceux qui ont l'opportunité de voter, parce que ce n'est pas tout le monde qui a cette opportunité. Mais le peu qui ont cette opportunité de voter, il faut voter Mr. David Trone, parce que c'est la personne qui est capable de nous soutenir. Il a déjà fait par le passé. Il y en a des gens qui m'ont interpellé, qui ont dit, Pierre, le fait que tu supportes Monsieur David Trone, c'est l'une des meilleures choses. Parce que ce monsieur nous a assistés quand on avait besoin de lettres pour l'immigration, pour que l'immigration accélère le processus des papiers de nos familles. Il a été là, il a envoyé ces lettres et ça a marché. Donc s'il a fait ça en tant que le congressman, for sure, quand il sera au Sénat, il va continuer. Parce que c'est quelqu'un qui a toujours pensé à ces gens, à ceux-là qu'il appelle mes gens. Et ce monsieur appelle aujourd'hui les Africains, que ce soit francophones, anglophones, tous les Africains, il les appelle ces gens.
Again, Tabinyan Echu reporting live from Bowie, Maryland. And behind the camera is my production cameraman, Jules Lati.